Welcome back. Let's do question 552. Right, in question 551, we managed to find that 16 sine x cos cubed x minus 8 sine x times cos x is equal to 2 sine 4x. So it means this whole thing is just the same as this. So now question 552 says, for which values of x in the interval 0 to 90 degrees will this trigonometric expression have its minimum value? So we know for the sine graph where the minimum value is and where the maximum value is. So I want to explain this thing this way using the trigonometric functions. Remember, for the function of the form f of x is equal to a sine kx. Remember that the period is equal to 360 degrees divided by k. In this case, our k is 4. And we know the key points for the graph of sine x. Let's start with the graph of sine x. Let's say g of x is equal to sine x. We have what here? We have 0, and then we have 90 degrees. We have 180 degrees. We have 270 degrees. And we have 360 degrees. So now our period is 360 degrees, and then these points, we call them steps. When you're sketching the graphs and you're using a calculator, these are our steps. So our step is 90 degrees. Our step is 90 degrees. How do we find the step? The step is the period divided by 4 for all the graphs. Tangent graph, sine graph, cos graph. Just say period divided by 4. So it's going to be, in this case, going to be 360 degrees divided by 4. Do you see that it's giving us our 90? So our step is going to be 90. It's like counting in 90s. 90, 180, 270, 360. Okay, and then we can sketch the graph of sine x. Okay, we will explain this. Let me just do this first. And then that's the maximum there. It's 0. The x-intercept, that's the minimum there. So the minimum value is at -1 for this domain. But now, let's come to our graph. 2 sine 4x. What will be the period for this graph? This graph will repeat itself after how many degrees? We come back to this formula. So we're saying here the period is going to be, period is equal to 360 degrees divided by 4, which is 90 degrees. And then from the period, we're going to get our steps. So steps, or step is 90 divided by 4. So remember, divide the period by k. Now in this case, our k is 4. So you get what? 22,5 degrees. So it means you're counting in 22,5 degrees. So meaning here we have 22,5 degrees, and then plus 22,5 degrees, we get 45 degrees. Plus 22,5 degrees, you get 67,5 degrees. And then plus 22,5 degrees, you get 90 degrees. This will be the graph now. The graph is going to be like this. It will be 2 there, 0 there, and -2 there. This is the graph. You've sort of revised also how to sketch the graphs. So this is the graph of 2 sine 4x. And then the question says, for which values of x in the interval? This is 0, 90. So from 0 to 90. In the interval 0 to 90 degrees, will this trigonometric expression have its minimum value? And then where is the minimum value? Is here, the -2. And then where? When x is equal to 67,5 degrees. So that's the answer. The answer is when x is equal to 67,5 degrees.